All right, what's going on here? This is the Boxing Source checking in live, and just seeing here about getting our guests on the line, so that we could get this going. So just looking at um, how things are going through here. So just waiting for our special guest to come into live. He's going to be having his pro debut pretty soon here. So we'll see if we can get him on here. He's checking in. So we got our guy here live checking in. The young man
How you doing? How you doing?
coming from the Brooklyn Brownsville area, brother Bruce Carrington Jr. What's going on, man?
Yeah, I'm doing well, man. Everything's going great for me. I'm just, just locked in, steady training, getting ready for my pro debut.
Oh yeah, yeah. And that pro debut is coming up. Should be planned for October 9th.
Correct,
And it
correct.
should be for the undercard of the Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder card that's going to be in Las Vegas. So that's going to
Correct.
be a big, big fight for you there for your debut, being at the
Yes, yes.
T-Mobile or arena or whatnot there for that debut.
Yes, yes. Highly blessed for that. And I can't thank, thank God and I thank my team for even, helping me to get to this opportunity to where I'm at right now. And I just can't wait to get in there at this point, to be honest. I can't wait. I've you know, been amateur for 17 years, 24 years old. It's time for me to make that next step.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. Now, about that next step. I know that they have the story about you. During your amateur career, and in the
Mm,
previous year, you were pretty much building or getting geared up to be part of the Olympics that was
yeah,
scheduled, for the summer of 2020.
yeah,
But then COVID hit, and then you had to pretty much go on a hiatus.
right.
And then when they said that they were going to do the Olympics for this year,
Hmm.
then they had a little controversy that kind of, prevented you from being on the team, which didn't make
Yeah,
any sense to me.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a lot of confusion with everybody when it came to this whole thing. The qualifiers were supposed to happen again earlier this year in April or May, I believe, in Argentina. But the COVID cases in Argentina had risen up, and that's why they had to cancel the qualifiers. So being that there was no qualifiers that was going to be able to happen for the Americas, they just basically went back into the rankings from 2017 to 2019, and some of those guys either went pro already or were beaten in the Olympic trials to where they couldn't be on the USA team at the time. So
Hmm.
they brought those guys back and from the pros, and they basically just allowed them to come back from the pros and be able to represent Team USA and take the number one spot, which took ended up taking my spot. I just feel like I was like really frustrated behind it because um everything in boxing that I've earned or lost, it was all on me and my mistakes, or because of all the things that I've done to work for those things.
Yep.
And it was just like something like this was something that was taken from me. I had no control over it, and it was really frustrating. And it took a while for me to cope with it and cope with everything. But at the same time, it was like I'm just happy for everybody because everybody's on the team. They're like family. Like honestly, like I can't speak for any other Olympic team and all of that stuff, but I can tell you that the team that I was a part of, we definitely spent a lot of valuable time with each other to where we became like a real tight knit family. We had an extra year with each other because of COVID,
Hmm.
and all of that extended time just made us even closer. So I just grew to be happy with everybody that's out there doing their thing. And this,
Yeah.
and sorry to cut you off. This is the one of the best teams in recent years in the Olympics too. We're doing great right now. You know?
Yeah, it's very talented team that's out there right now, and they're definitely doing their thing.
Yeah,
So yeah, big ups to all of them that's competing right now or have been competing. Over the past few days.
yeah.
Over there. In Tokyo. So, but back to you. I wanted to get into something here. Um, where did the nickname Shu Shu come from?
Yeah. Everybody asks that question, and I'll be so mad because I have like the simplest answer. And to be honest, it's just a baby name. It's a baby name. My parents called me Shu Shu because I'm Bruce Jr. And so two Bruces in the house, it would confuse the both of us. So I guess when I was little, my dad just gave me the name Shu Shu, and it kind of stuck with everyone, family members, boxing coaches, and stable mates and whoever. Like Shu Shu just stuck with everyone because I guess it's kind of catchy, but it also has a Egyptian meaning, meaning the one who rises above all. So you know. I think, after a while, I mean, I've always loved the name Shu Shu, but once I found that out, I was like, oh yeah, I love this name.
Yeah, got to ride with it. Definitely got to
Yeah,
ride with it.
yeah.
So that's definitely good. But just going into your pro career, kind of like transitioning from your amateur career, like you said, you had a very extensive amateur career, 17 years or
Hmm.
there as amateur. But could you like recall like what would be the city or the competition that you kind of remember the most there as an amateur?
I mean, the Olympic trials in Louisiana was great. It was something spectacular to me, and the main reason why I remember it is because obviously I won it, and to be on the USA team, but it was just more so of the competition was top notch. It was the best of the best. You can't just walk in and sign up for the Olympic trials. Three there were three qualifying tournaments for the trials. I mean, you had to medal, you had to uh make it to the finals in order to go to the trials, in each of those tournaments. So not just anybody could just go there. The best of the best went to those tournaments, and I went in as the eighth seed, as the last seed, and in a double elimination tournament, I won the whole thing without a loss, and then came out with the gold medal, first place, and the best boxer of the tournament. That's probably honestly the highlight of my amateur career. You know, so that's one place, that's one tournament that I could really remember, and out of my whole amateur career. And plus, Louisiana was beautiful around that time too. It was like December, I believe. Yeah, it was December, and it was still beautiful outside. It was so beautiful. Like, it was nice and warm, and the people out there was nice, and the food was great, and just the whole experience was just amazing.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And kind of like going through, like you said, you came in as an eight seed, and with double elimination, sometimes it's like either you gotta win, like you said, win all your fights, or if you
Yeah.
lose once, then you gotta pretty much like catch up. It's almost like
Yes.
the
Yes.
College World Series, where like if a team loses their first game, they gotta win all the rest of their games, or else they'd be
Exactly.
eliminated. You know,
Exactly. Yeah.
you know so that just steps up the whole level of competition when you step in the ring and do those type of tournaments there. But
Yeah.
yeah, like you said, you're able to get through that and with those Olympic trials at that particular time.
Yeah.
Just going
Don't.
into this
Yeah.
thing here with your pro debut, um seeing that it's going to be in Las Vegas, are you like pretty much excited or like nervous going into this?
I'm more so excited because I mean, before, when the fight was supposed to be scheduled for July 24th, my dad and I was already out in Vegas a month prior because we
Mm,
wanted to get acclimated to the time zone, the altitude, the dry heat. It was like 117 degrees out there. It was like
yeah.
draining, like that. The heat was draining. So what I wanted to get comfortable with being uncomfortable out there. So we stayed out there. We were training. We was in the top ranked gym, and we was getting great work. We was getting great work. Great sparring. Excuse me. Great sparring, great work out there, and so I was kind of getting accustomed and building myself up for the anticipation of the fight and the whole fight week and everything. But I wouldn't say that but the nervousness is going to be there. But I feel like me looking from New York, um, I feel like I have an edge when it comes to fighting in big arenas and big stages and such. because, especially for a pro debut, because I fought in Golden Glove tournaments, and the Golden Glove finals are always held at Madison Square Garden or the Barclays Center, like big arenas, and it's like I've gotten, I wouldn't say used to it, but it wouldn't be a foreign feeling to me to fight in a big arena again, and I've also fought in, even stuff with big stakes such as the Pan American Games and things of that sort. So, you know, like the nervousness, yes, definitely will be there, but I will be very comfortable when the time fight day comes.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I mean, you got that. Pretty much, you'll have that pre-fight adrenaline, but
Yeah,
then after it gets closer and closer, you'll be able to calm down, and then it'll just be all business once you pretty much show up to the ring.
yeah, yeah,
It'll
yeah,
just be like any other fight that you've had over the course of your life, basically.
yeah, yeah. I can't wait. I can't wait, man. I really can't, because at this point, it's just like I just really want to showcase my talent to the world and have everybody take notice of Bruce Carrington.
Now, during your time working there during your pro debut, have you worked with any other pros or young guys that are coming up in preparation for this?
Oh, 100%. I've gotten work from Joshua Greer. Gotten work from Keyshawn Davis. Duke Reagan as well too. Richardson Hitchens. That's just a few names to throw out there. You know what I mean? That's just off the top of my head. But yeah, I've been getting like nothing but top notch work from guys that's gonna have me more than prepared for this fight coming up, my pro debut. I just feel
Yeah,
like, it's just a matter of time for me at this point.
that's a good list there with
Yeah,
Richardson Hitchens and Joshua
yeah,
Greer Jr. All of
yeah,
those guys are very talented pros in there. So you've been getting in
yeah,
some good work in
yeah.
the gym with those guys. But you're coming in there from Brookville, Brooklyn, Brownsville area. Of course, it's a
Yes,
very
yes, yes,
storied boxing area. So
yes.
there's a lot of people out there. You know you could pretty much say like Mike Tyson out there from the Catskills. You got,
Yeah, yeah.
Shannon
Now
Briggs
Tyson,
that
yeah, yeah. Nah, we ain't gonna say Tyson from the Catskills. Tyson's from Brownsville. Yeah, he just
yeah,
moved out to the Catskills to be with
he
Cosmato.
moved to the Catskills, because hold on a sec. Looks like he had kind of like cut off there a bit in the middle of his conversation there talking about Mike Tyson. We're gonna see if I can get back on here. Yeah, he's pretty much getting back on. So let's add him back in
Sorry about
there.
that. I don't know what just happened. My phone just kind of messed up a little bit. But yeah,
Yeah,
Brownsville. He just moved out to Catskill, right in Brownsville.
yeah, just moved. Yeah, and he was the guy out there in Brownsville. During his
Yeah,
time with me, you got him. You got, of course, Shannon the Cannon, who
yeah.
looked up to
Shannon
Mike
Briggs.
Tyson, of course.
Yeah,
You
we got
know,
Zab
uh,
Judah, Edwin
Zab,
Mustafa
Super Zab.
Muhammad, Danny Jacobs.
Yep.
um, you know, um, Albany Davis. We have a bunch of guys that's on the list that comes from this one neighborhood. So it's something that you gotta kind of question. You like, is this something, like what is it about this little, it's not even like a city, it's a neighborhood. What is it about this neighborhood that's producing so many champions? And that's kind of like the
Yeah,
pride that I have on my back, and the kind of motivation that pushes me to be where I am today and to make me and push me even further.
yeah. It's only like what I'd say about like three or four block radius or so, pretty much like that, and all of that
Yeah,
talent pretty much comes from that area. It's just
yeah.
crazy,
I feel like I
So
feel like it's because it's so populated in such a small area. You know what I mean? Because
mhm.
just one block in Brownsville has about 8 buildings, and each building has 16 floors, and each apartment, each floor has about 6 or 7 apartments, and each apartment have full families. So think about, that's one block. You know,
Yeah,
yeah, like it's really crazy. It's really crazy when you think about it. So that's a lot of interaction. A lot of that's gonna happen, and a lot of and New York is a city of hustling, so everybody's gonna hustle and bustle, and a lot of things come with that.
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I mean, you got a lot of activity, a lot of people that like you said, interact with each other in just a little
Hmm.
small spot, and comes up with like a lot of things that you're able to do.
Yeah.
And you've had like a whole lot of, like you said, a whole lot of boxers were able to come out of just that general area that were legends, world champions, and all of that. And you're pretty much on the way to that here
Yeah.
coming up.
Thank you. Thank you.
Like you said, Bruce Carrington Jr. going to be having his pro debut scheduled for October 9th. That's going to be part of the Fury Wilder 3 undercard in Las Vegas. Now, just going back to you, man. Like, who
Hmm.
is it particularly that you look up to? When it comes to the boxing guy.
Well, I would say I look up to Floyd Mayweather and Mike Tyson. Those are the two people that I mainly look up to. Mike Tyson, of course, from Brownsville. Come on, like these. That's like, an idol for me. One of my first idols coming into the game. But it's just something about Mayweather and his style of fighting. And it's so crazy that I said those two guys because they have total different styles of fighting. And I
Hmm.
appreciate them both equally just as much because Mike Tyson, he brings that ferociousness that you still don't see a lot of like boxers have today. He has this. He used to have this scariness about him. Like he was the baddest man on the planet. That he was labeled that, and you don't find that even today in today's boxing.
Right.
So that's something that that really took over me and influenced me to become a boxer. And with Mayweather is so patient, and he's like one of the smartest boxers to ever lace him up. um, he it's something. It was something that one thing that fascinated me about Mayweather is the fact that no matter who he fought, no matter what guy he faced, he always took away their abilities and their attributes and made
Right.
them fight his fight. I don't care if a guy
Hmm.
was known to throw 100 punches around and stuff like that. Like he slowed your punch count and made you fight his pace, and he's gonna beat you up for those 12 rounds. You know what I'm saying? Like that right there fascinated me, and that made me want to learn how to fight just like that.
Yeah, he pretty much like had a strategy of where he just studied his opponent, and it was like he studied his opponent better than anyone else. And like you
Yeah,
said, it took about a few rounds to figure his opponent out and just take away, their strengths and pretty much like blow out his opponent the rest of the way
yeah,
through.
yeah.
And
That
and
adjustment that he had, that ability of adjustment was second to none.
yeah, without a doubt, without a doubt. Now, what would you say that you wanted to that you would want to do here within your pro career within the next say 2 years, like say about like how many professional fights you would think you would have within the first 2 years?
Well, in 365 days, I would like to be as busy as I can. I'm 24 years old, so kind of in the game. I wouldn't say late, but I'm on a decent age to where is I want to be as active as I can, have a few enough fights under my belt, so I'll be able to get a world championship in under 4 years. Um, yeah, in the next 2 years, I would say hopefully, hopefully, 10 plus fights, and I would just move, in the ranks, accordingly. I'm not really in too much of a rush to, excuse me, fight, different championships. Like I'm still, gonna be learning. I'm still gonna be, become more of a complete fighter, and I want to take the proper steps to get to that level, And I know for a fact that I could give, the top guys at the weight right at my weight right now, like a run for their money and beat them. But it's more so of me being able to wanting to dominate. You know what I mean? Like I want to I'm just getting better by the day. So at this point, it's just like I just really want to be able to make sure that when I do step in the ring, like there's no doubt about it that I'm gonna be able to come out that ring victorious.
Yeah, it's one thing to win a fight, but it's a whole nother thing to dominate your opponent.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah,
the thing that you want to strive to do is to dominate your opponent every
yeah.
time you step into the ring.
Yeah, 100%. And also, it's all about. It's honestly about. I want to build my name as well too. You know, I want to have that. I definitely want to build my name and become that household name. After in due time. So in order to do that, sometimes you got to take your time and become a familiar face. Things can't be rushed. So whatever I have to do to become that, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, gotcha. I mean, you got to have your team around you that'll be able to help you do that.
Yeah,
Have a little bit of a presence. Not just inside the ring, but outside the ring as well. So it kind of like with these days, you gotta. It seems like you got to be out there as far as like the social media game and everything like
yeah,
that,
yeah,
or
yeah. Definitely,
have
definitely.
have yourself like a little marketing team and stuff like that. You have your
Yeah,
t-shirts out there, the
yeah,
Shu
yeah,
Shu. You
yeah,
put that on the t-shirt,
yeah,
a
yeah.
bunch of people rolling out there with that. So that's
It's
that's
it, it
that's one
it'd
thing
be so
that'll
funny. It'd be so
yeah.
funny when I'm like walking around, when I'm like driving through my neighborhood or whatever, and I'm just seeing someone wear a Shu Shu shirt that I don't even know. You know what I mean? It's so funny to even like, I don't even like it doesn't even like it ain't like hit me really when I do see those type of things. But like I just appreciate it. I appreciate the love that I get from my supporters and everything. So, shout out to them as well too on, they watch this. Shout out to my supporters. They're like, 100% like, behind my back, and I just can't thank them enough for it.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt there, man. What would you say is like I know that you'll have your fight in Vegas here is your debut, but what would you think is your dream venue that you would want to fight in?
Really? My dream venue is the Barclays Center, right in the middle of
Oh,
Brooklyn. Right in the
oh,
middle of Brooklyn.
right
I
in the
want to
that
fight.
man.
Yes, I want to fight
Yeah.
right. I want to fight in the Barclays Center and just have the whole Brooklyn out there to watch me fight. It's gonna be an extravaganza. Like I want to be able to, just pack the house with just none of, just everybody, all my supporters from Brooklyn, just so New York just come through. But it's just something about the Barclays Center that just, it just gives you that whole, real Brooklyn energy. It's like I love Madison Square Garden. I fought there as well too. Several times. It's just something like fighting in your hometown, like right,
Yeah.
like New York, Madison Square Garden is basically my hometown as well. But Brooklyn is like even closer. It takes about 4 or 5 stops on the train just to get to the Barclays Center from where I live, from where I used to live. Like it's
Mm.
an easy route. I know everybody's gonna pop out to that. So that I would say that is my dream venue to fight at.
Yeah, they pretty much get off that at that stop. They walk up the steps and they be right there at the
Right
Barclays
there,
Center.
right there, right
Just
there.
right there. So I mean, yeah, that would definitely be big, for you to, have a fight out there. And like I said, I mean, you're gonna have like a whole crowd, out there that's gonna be cheering for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, thank you. Yeah, hope so. Definitely hope so.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. So I was just seeing here if there was like anything that people didn't know about you that you want them to know about you.
Um, hmm, good question. Well, one thing, I'm Orthodox, but I'm left-handed, so I'm a left-handed Orthodox. Just like Mike Tyson. Um, what can I say? I mean, I know probably a lot of people will probably already know this now, but I'm plant-based, and I've been on a plant-based diet for about 4 years now. I can't say that I'm vegan because vegan is basically like a whole culture. It's this lifestyle to where they don't wear leather shoes. They don't wear leather. Period. They don't wear fur coats and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
nothing
And
associated with
at
nothing like.
all, like with food and other things included. So
Hmm.
so that's why I just stay up away from the vegan label and just say that I'm on a plant-based diet, and I've been doing that for about 4 years. um uh I am a boxer puncher. I can definitely box and be on my toes, be on my feet, but sometimes I like to get in there and tussle with the best of them. I like to get gritty sometimes. So I like to entertain. I'm definitely a crowd pleaser when it comes to fighting, and that's something that I look forward to doing October 9th as well.
Gotcha, gotcha. Now, one last thing here. I want people to know like where they could follow you on social media so that they could, get all the updates there, up to the days of when you're gonna have your first professional fight and past that.
Well, you guys can follow me on Instagram at Bruce_Carrington. That's Bruce_Carrington. You also follow me on Twitter, B_Carrington1. And also, I have a documentary out, 30-minute documentary called Brownsville Born. You guys can check that out on brownsvilleborn.com.
All right, there you go. So make sure that y'all be able to follow Bruce Carrington Jr. on social media and check out the documentary there. And like I said, October 9th, the pro
Yes,
debut
yes,
of
yes,
Bruce Shu Shu Carrington Jr.
yes,
So y'all make sure that y'all check that out. All right.
yes.
Thank you very much for taking the time to join the boxing source here, man.
Thank you for having me, man. It was a pleasure. It was definitely a pleasure.
Oh, without a doubt, without a doubt. All right. Have a good one.
All right, you too.
All right. So that was brother Bruce Carrington Jr. Uh, very thankful that he was able to join us here on the Boxing Source. He definitely talked about various things that is going on, especially with him preparing for his pro debut that's coming up on October 9th. That will be part of the Wilder Fury 3 undercard that is going to be in Las Vegas. They're going to have, a pretty much a huge card coming up for that. You have the pay-per-view, you have, ESPN and Fox, that will be involved with that particular fight card, and Bruce Carrington Jr. will be involved in that. So be sure to check that out. Wanted to thank him again for joining us, and we will be having a part two of the midweek report here coming soon. Is probably going to be within the next hour and 30 minutes, but definitely wanted to have Bruce Carrington Jr. on to join us and to talk about what's coming up with him in his pro career, with his pro debut, because he was slated to be involved in the Olympic Games, but had a little bit of a controversy with that after he won the Olympic trials, and then when they came up with trying to start the Olympics again, they, had something going on where he wouldn't be, part of the team or involved with it. So it was crazy. But he, went on ahead, said that he was going to become a professional, and now he's going to have his pro debut. It was going to be on July 24th, but of course that card has been delayed to October 9th. And so you will see him live in Las Vegas with his pro debut on October 9th. And we're going to have more news about that and what's going on with that card as the days roll by. But for right now, that is it for this version of the midweek report. We're going to have a part two here later on down the line. So be sure to check out the channel here for that. But until then, I'll catch y'all later. Peace out.